Welcome back, everybody, to Back on Track.
Episode 6.
Episode number 6. How are you today, Hamish?
I'm doing well, thank you. I've moved into my new place, further into town. So
Very fancy.
yeah, no, it's nice. It's quite the change from Hounds though. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. How are you, mate? How's your birthday been?
It was my birthday the other day. Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, went to, well, as you'll know, because you were there, went to Thorpe Park, and I've got to say, I really enjoyed the rides there. And
yeah, no, it was really good.
It was good. Yeah, it was really good. No, yeah, yeah, had a good time. Yeah, good fun.
Did you get anything nice for your birthday?
I actually got it here, a little jar of Manuka honey.
Nice.
Thanks, Mum. Very, very good for you. So yeah, and this top as well, which I'm wearing.
Oh, nice.
Which I quite like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's it. Really. Yeah.
Well, we got you
a few other bits and
well,
bobs.
James and I got you the story cubes.
The story cubes, which will be making an appearance
I
maybe in the next episode.
That will be good. We should have that as a little segment.
Yeah.
For the day, yeah. Yeah, no, it was I really enjoyed my time at Thorpe Park. I mean, I haven't been there in years. I think the last time.
It never gets old. It's good fun. Like the thrill.
I'm sure
of
it'd get
being
old after
on
a
stealth.
certain point, but
I remember when I was about 16 and I used to have one of those annual passes, and I used to go literally like every week, and it started to wear off. It was still fun, but like, once you've done it so many times, it's not the same. It's nice to give it a bit of a break and then go back to it, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, it's got to see all the new rides. Got to see the the Walking Dead ride, which the tunnel was the scariest bit. The actual ride was it was nothing really. It was
all, yeah.
Yeah, it was just.
What did you think about the ghost train?
Oh, the ghost train! What a joy that was. I mean,
I like the train element of it, but
yeah.
the
So
acting was
originally it was Darren
interesting.
Brown's ghost train, which I really enjoyed when I did it with the VR. And I thought it was actually a pretty scary ride.
It's an interesting concept,
Yeah.
with the VR.
And then it's recently changed to it not being branded, and it has conductors taking you there who are all, spooky looking.
Yeah, live actors doing all that sort of stuff. Yes, it was. It was quite funny.
Yeah, but the whole bit is like the train has like people taking their souls out or something.
Yes, they do. They stop in a station where there was a séance or something.
Yeah. And Jamie, can you just show for the people what the soul sucking?
I can't even remember it. They were like moving all.
Yeah.
But dancing, and they were going like that.
Yeah, they were just. It was just some like some.
It looked like some sort of 80s disco, doing the robot.
like the train would stop and then like all the lights would flicker and you just see these like these kids just doing this. Yeah, it was really. I mean, I heard you scream quite a few times. So
yeah, because the lights went out. And then when it came back on, there was just an actor just in my face.
Yeah.
Like literally inches away from my face. And I didn't expect it. And yeah, it was quite terrifying, really. I wasn't scared of the ride itself. It was more the invasion of my personal space, which I was a bit.
Well, they had to mention about 4 times to not touch the actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then during the séance bit, so they take you to this like
crypt,
this
underground sort of thing,
yeah, and So they say like, oh, the word they would say is credo, which
is Latin for I believe.
yeah, but it sounds too much like pedo, which
Pedo.
I mean you immediately
And they start chanting it.
yeah, creed.
Pedo. Fucking hell, what kind of ride is this?
Yeah, I know
This is
you
not what I
can't, but
signed
you
up for.
can't use
Yeah.
something like they should have picked that up as like there's going to be loads of 15-year-olds here and us as well who will pick up on that far too easily and just
Oh yeah.
immediately just be like, oh, pedo, So yeah, but it was really something, and but my favorite ride just out of the I don't know. I think it was nice after going on those two pretty terrible rides to go on the flying fish.
The flying fish was good, and the shout out to the operator of that ride.
Yeah.
He let us go 5 times in a row, which was
And
good fun.
every time, because he's probably been doing it all day. He would be doing this
just sat
deadpan
there
wave.
waving, yeah, as you go
Yeah, no,
past,
literally,
yeah.
he was just there on the desk being like, and we go, yeah, we're going again.
yeah, and he's just there. So, my favorite was the detonator drop. I don't know if it's still called that. It was definitely called detonator.
Well, yeah, it used to be Angry
was
Birds
brilliant.
or whatever, but that was
Yeah,
honestly no. I mean, I have a big fear of heights.
yeah,
and I mean, I was by my own. They let us in, and then they didn't realise there wasn't enough seats, so I had to go on the next one. But I was like, you know what, I'll get a nice view of Surrey and see all the thing. And then we went up really high, and I generally started having a panic attack, and I was like having to like control my breathing and shit, 'cause I was like, this is fucking awful. Yeah, no, that was probably the worst for me. But
I love that one.
Yeah,
because of that reason, because of the it just drops you, and the operator on that ride as well was brilliant. He was
very good.
Detonator
He was
Bingo.
very good. Yeah.
He was really interactive with the riders, which I liked, and he seemed to be quite passionate about what he does, and he enjoyed it. And he was doing Detonator Bingo, so he'd say, he'd pick a number, and that's the number that you drop you on, and then he would do bingos, and it was like, I think the number was 7 that somebody picked. And he was doing, all the 4s, 44, and all that, 2 fat ladies. And then he was like, 2 little ducks, 7. And then he just dropped you, because you expect 2 little ducks to be 22. And then I quite like that. And then when he did it with us, it was like, right, when you hear 15, we're going to drop you. And then he was like, straight away, it was like, on its own, 15. And then just dropped us, which was really, I thought it was really good.
It was, yeah. I mean, do you get vertigo at all?
Not really. I quite like. I'm a bit of a thrill seeker. I like all that sort of stuff, heights and drops and roller coasters, all of that. I love it. I think it's exciting. I like to live life on the edge.
Well, I heard that actually, vertigo can't be considered a phobia because it's there's a genuine concern for your safety. Like, it's just a natural thing to be like,
it's not irrational.
I shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. I shouldn't be this high up.
But isn't vertigo the feeling when you're on the ground and you look up at something high and then you lose your balance? That's what I sometimes get. When you sat next to like a really tall building,
yeah,
and you look up at the top of the building and you sort of lose your balance a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's something else. I mean, if in the film Vertigo, one of the characters does have vertigo,
classic.
and she looks down and it like goes all like
Yeah. Pan shot.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, it was difficult in Portugal for me because some of the churches there have massive heights, and then a rail like just to like your chest. Or that just your abdomen, and so you're like, no, I don't want to do that. And there was one which was like, it was like spherical, and you had to go around it to leave. And I was basically just shimmying against the wall, trying to be as far away as I could to the edge.
Not trying. It's like that. Have you seen that? There's a bridge in China, and it's got a glass floor, but it's like programmed to make it look like it's gonna crack.
Yeah.
Like it's not actually cracking, but it's like a little graphic animation
honestly,
thing.
that
and,
sounds
people
terrible.
get genuinely terrified.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
exciting.
think, yeah. No, I mean, I remember once. You ever been on London's the cable cars by?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Near the O2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on that, and I was like, do you know what would be?
I've climbed up the top of O2. Like I've been on top of it.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've seen
Yeah,
those.
that seems
How was it?
Yeah. It was a long time ago, but it was it's exciting. Yeah, it's fun.
Well,
But the cable cars.
I tell you what, no, this wasn't exciting, mate. I went with Sabrina, and the whole time I just had to stay sat down because it was also a windy day, and so
Oh,
the
that doesn't
cable
make it
car,
any better,
you can
yeah.
hear it shuddering, and
That's exciting.
it started swinging and stuff, and I was just like, literally just like one mechanism holding me here, and if I fall, that's it, I'm dead. Like there's nothing underneath me except water.
Yeah, but how likely is it that it's gonna?
Oh no, it's very unlikely, but that doesn't go through your head whilst it's happening.
Yeah.
And especially whilst it's shaking and shuddering, I was just like the whole time I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, anyways, no, it was a good day out, and yeah, we didn't get to see the new ride. It was under maintenance, and also saw because James, our producer, it was his first ever time at Thorpe Park, so I think he had a particularly good time. But
yeah, that's good. I'm glad he was there.
yeah. But anyways,
Enjoyed it, yeah.
Going into this episode, guys, we've got. It feels like forever since we've recorded, but it's really not been like that long. But I've got a segment that I wanted to start off the episode with. So I was watching Brentford versus Tottenham the other day. Brentford weren't great, but they were robbed by seriously bad officiating. But anyways, so Tottenham has an official crypto partner, which it seems is quite a strange thing to have. I mean, I understand the money behind it, but then also the idea that like any cryptocurrency that Tottenham trades with goes straight through this company, which of course I don't know how often that happens, but yeah.
I don't believe in crypto. I mean, I get the whole thing of like, oh yeah, you can make loads of money out of it, but
yeah, but it's just it's only valuable 'cause like people go, oh, this is valuable. Yeah. It doesn't like you don't go into a shop and buy something crypto.
You're buying nothing. Crypto is literally like
Well, Donald Trump
exist.
Because this is a big thing that the Republicans are doing, so they can get the crypto bros vote. They are. Oh, Donald Trump the other day went into a bar that you can purchase stuff with crypto at, right? It's some crypto bar. Anyway, so he went in there and bought stuff with crypto, which everyone went, wow, what a revelation. Somebody who's been the president has used crypto, and the crypto bros are loving it. And I don't know, it just seems so desperate to be like, it's worth something. It's worth something. Believe me, it's worth something. I mean, it's, it's literally only worth a thing for making money. But anyways, I'm not a financier, so I couldn't tell you an awful lot. But what I can tell you about is, that sort of got me going into thinking, what are the weirdest football sponsorships and football official partners that there has ever been. And I want to start it off, close to home. Brentford, right, in 2018, had a partnership with G. Savile and Son Funeral Directors as the official funeral partner for Brentford FC. They offered Brentford. They were offering Brentford supporting clients a bespoke coffin in a club colours and sporting the Brentford FC badge. So imagine that getting the. I mean, I'm sure people have done it with other football teams. I bet there's a Leeds United fan with a Leeds
coffin.
Leeds coffin. But yeah, I don't know.
Would you do it? Would you get a Brentford themed coffin?
I like to think I had more in life that I can look to,
Yeah.
other than, as much as I love football, you know. Yeah, maybe. Would you have a a Northern Rail decal?
I think I want a see-through coffin.
You want a see-through
Glass one.
coffin?
Yeah, glass.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't. I've not really thought much about my
No, I think
demise.
yeah, it will. I'll think of it when it comes to. But I mean, not that I will be able to think of it. But you know, if my family have an excess amount of money and they don't know what to do with it, put it on a Brentford coffin if you really want. You
yeah,
know,
why not? Why
yeah,
not?
go for it.
Yeah. I'll take a brown paper bag.
Well,
know, I'm not doing it.
Following on, Everton in 2017. It seems to be a lot of these happen in the same, like 2016 to 2020. It was just a very weird time. For I guess all these teams had too much money, and then COVID hit, and then they had no money. So, but anyways, in Everton, 2017. They had Angry Birds as their sponsor on the sleeve.
Angry Birds
yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah, which, you know, doesn't seem that strange for it, because I think there was another mobile app when mobile apps were really big that sponsored Norwich. But in partnership with Everton, you could get 3 of the players in the game as birds.
Right.
And
So what, like an Angry Bird with like just a human face?
yeah, they
stitched
look very
onto it.
disturbing. I mean, we'll get a little picture up. Yeah, so the players included Sigurdsson, Tasuna, and Theo Walcott as birds.
I want to see this. I want to play this. I'm going to re-download Angry Birds.
I wonder. Yeah, I looked up because I mean, I don't know how many kids are playing Angry Birds, but it's seeming like Roblox has been around for years, and we played it, but I feel like it's bigger now than ever.
Yeah, I never really got into Roblox.
No,
really.
When we played it, it wasn't quite as advanced as it is now. So, you know, kids don't know how lucky they have it. But yeah. Anyways, another one in 2017, West Brom. They had a sponsorship on their shirt called Ideal Boiler. And with that sponsorship, they got a new mascot. And can you guess what the mascot was?
Was it a boiler?
It was a boiler.
But it's just, that's my dream job. I want to be the actor guy who plays the mascot.
Yeah, boiler.
Dressed up as a boiler.
He's Boiler Man. Boiler Man.
Boiler Man.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to call the Boiler Man to sort out mine.
Well, hopefully this guy shows up. That would be quite good if they, if just like, you know, in for any lucky West Brom fan, you could have the Boiler Man come and check your boiler, and this guy, you know, he's got this massive foam suit, and he's like crashing through your hallways trying to get to your boiler. But yeah, no, and so that sparked. I think a lot of people really enjoyed Boiler Man, and yeah, he ended up becoming
you know Mr. Blobby from like
yeah.
I'm just imagining like that.
Oh yeah.
Thing coming through, but like with a boiler. Yeah. Terrifying.
And now another one, and I'm sure you've got a joke for this one. In 2010, Man United were for years. I don't know if they are still. They have a lot of sponsors. They've got I think they've got over 60 sponsors. Man United have.
Wow.
But one of them is an official lubricant partner, Gulf Lubricants.
Gulf Lubricants.
Yeah, so it's you know, gear lubricants, so not the other kind.
Oh right. Oh
Yeah.
right. Okay.
But I could imagine some footballers getting free bottles and ended up, you know, going to the medical bay with some itchy
Because
itchy
they put gear
crotches.
lubricant on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there's a picture with all the footballers like Wayne Rooney with golf lubricants. You know. And then also following that with the lubricant partnership, they also have an official tractor partner. Yanmar, Japanese company, of which you can get an official Man United tractor.
That's so cool. I really want a tractor.
You really want? Would you want a Man United tractor?
Any tractor, I'll take. Beggars can't be choosers. I'll take what I can get.
Well,
tractors are cool.
I mean, the tractor company, obviously, they're the ones who the team use for the pitch, and so that's why they're the official partner. But the tractor's now got a decal or a paint job of Man United. And then finally, another one is you heard of the paint company Deluxe?
I have heard of the paint.
Yeah, the number one selling in the UK, I believe. Well, Tottenham in 2021 announced them as their official paint supplier.
There we go.
With the Deluxe dog by the pitch. But another thing that was quite funny about this was the admin of Deluxe kept making jokes about Tottenham on social media after the dealership, after the deal had been done. So like, the Deluxe dog, I think, was on the pitch, and people were saying, "Oh, can he start can he start for us?" And then the admin for Deluxe dog, said something along the lines of, well, he'd do a better job, wouldn't he? I'm just thinking, I don't know. I'm sure Tottenham's A&R team would just.
Did they ever get
or PR team?
That would be so cool to see the dog doing that.
I'm just surprised that all got greenlit. The fact that the Deluxe dog starts making jokes about how they haven't got any trophies, which it's just a funny way of running business, but all very weird, all very strange. But do you know what else is weird? What else?
What's weird?
The news.
The news is weird.
The news is weird. Jamie,
especially this week.
What's been happening? I know you've been travelling a lot this week, but what's been happening along your side of the country?
Well, I have been travelling a lot, and a lot of that travel has been on the trains, but not on this one particular train in Gatwick, where a squirrel boarded and refused to leave, and subsequently the train was cancelled because of a squirrel.
Unbelievable.
On the train. Unbelievable. And it caused quite an uproar. It was a Great Western Railway train from Reading to Gatwick, and apparently this couple of squirrels boarded and started biting people and attacking them, running riot on the train, causing
rabid
chaos,
squirrels,
causing havoc.
Not only haven't they paid their fare, but they're harassing customers.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the conductor probably tried to charge them a ticket or get But eventually, they had to call off the entire journey. Tried to coax it out, and I've seen trains cancelled for weird reasons, but that is,
what's the weirdest cancellation you've had?
That's a good question. You're putting me on the spot here now. I've had train cancelled because the heater wasn't working and it was really cold, and I was like, I'm not taking it because it's too cold. Which is actually valid. But I don't know. I'm trying to think.
We'll get back to you on that one, guys.
I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah.
That's mad then. How did they eventually bring in the animal control? I'm guessing that it was because they were stressed. That's why they were attacking.
Yeah, probably. Probably stressed because they didn't have the tickets and they couldn't pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to get staff on board to try and coax them off, and they used snacks to try and lure them out. And I just don't think they were having any of it. And yeah, it was cancelled. A spokesperson said 2 squirrels boarded without tickets, and they were in breach of the railway bylaws.
But it was well
Which is
chuffed at that
A
one.
play on words for bylaws.
Yeah. You train conductors seem to have a way with puns. And we're back, guys. Sorry, we had a little technical issue there. Yeah, squirrels. They're causing havoc. I mean, these animals need to, get a grip.
There have been, there's all sorts of animals. I mean, a couple of weeks ago it was tortoises on the tracks. We've had all sorts. Now it's squirrels. What's next?
Pigeons. Do you know what?
Pigeons.
Pigeons are very calm on trains. Have you ever seen one come and get on the train?
Yeah, pigeons. I know a train driver who was driving with the train with the window open, and a pigeon flew into the cab whilst.
I mean, that would be nuts, though. I feel like that would start
Yeah.
frantically coming around. I mean, the ones that respect the law and just jump on and off of the tube and stuff.
Yeah, I mean they've got places to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, similarly in terms of animals, I'm sure you've probably heard about the a few months ago. There was a video that went viral about of so-called pandas in China in the zoo, which everybody rightfully so suspected. These are just dogs painted as pandas. Well, it seems to have happened again. In a different place. So a zoo in China has admitted to its star attraction, the so-called pandas are just painted dogs. The fluffy Chow Chow dogs, painted to resemble the country's beloved national animal, were seen in a video shot by the visitors in the southern Guangdong province. The video posted on Monday on Douyin, China's version of TikTok, has gone viral, shared 1.4 million times, and in a photo shared by another user on social media, the black and white canines can be seen in the enclosure next to the sign that says "painted dogs." So they've admitted.
I have seen the video.
Yeah,
it is quite funny.
Yeah, well, I think this is the second time. We are called panda dogs, a pet dog that looks like a panda. Dyed and dressed up by Chow Chow. We are gentle, smart, friendly, cute, and adorable, the sign says. And the zoo's manager, named Huang, says the dogs are one of its top attractions. Well, I think people would just want to see it out of pure curiosity. But what I don't understand is, why do they need to paint dogs? China's literal native animal is a flipping panda.
Yeah.
How difficult are they to get? Like, I don't understand, somewhere where it's difficult to import such. But yeah, no, so the manager said it's one of their top attractions. You can see by our name, we are strange animals and cute pet paradise, she told the state-affiliated outlet Sichuan Observation. These are Chow Chow dogs being painted as pandas, as this is part of our specialities. It's quite a weird speciality to have, is we paint animals.
I think because, pandas are an endangered species, so maybe they don't have enough. They need to start painting dogs instead. They do look quite convincing, actually. But
I guess, though, like, if you're going to find a panda anywhere, being in your native country, I think would be a fairly easy thing, other than just painting dogs.
Yeah. What kind of dog was it? Because if you ask me, it looks like a Shih Tzu. Shih Tzu.
Well done, JB. Well, so yeah, visitors to a zoo in China's southern Guangdong province feed a Chow Chow dog painted. Sorry, this is a different thing. But this is not the first time, like I said, that they've dogs have been painted to look like pandas and other wild animals. In May, a zoo in eastern Zhejiang province sparked outrage after visitors discovered its 2 dogs, black and white, were painted to resemble pandas. And then another one in 2016, there was pet shops in Guangdong who were caught selling dog dyed to look like miniature tigers.
I might open up my own zoo and just it's just a bunch of dogs painted to be different
Well, this looks like what they're
animals.
doing in China. I mean, I don't know. I guess that it's strange, but like you'll yeah. So yeah,
Testing
maybe
one
there's
two
a
one
whole
two.
market in that, but I'm sure Peter would have something to say about that, about you dyeing dogs to look like other animals.
I thought you meant some bloke called Peter, and I was like, "Who the hell is Peter?" And they're like, "Yeah,
But have
yeah."
you seen when sausage dogs get when they get bred with other animals, they just look like that dog. They look like a sausage dog in that disguise, like in the disguise of
Yeah.
of that other dog. So like if they've been bred with like a corgi, they just look like a sausage dog wearing a corgi outfit. It's just quite funny. Um, yeah, so that's the latest in the news, and now
Alternative genre of the week.
Jamie, this was your alternative genre, and this is something that's very close to you.
It is
Um,
close to my heart, yeah.
yeah, contemporary. I'm saying that wrong. Contemporary,
Yeah, contemporary
contemporary recorder. Uh,
recorder.
Jamie, how many recorders do you have at home?
I've got 16. The last time I counted, it was 16.
16
Um,
recorders.
I've got a selection of some of them here actually. Um, yeah, but I think I've got about six. I've got a lot. They're all different sizes, shapes, different sounds, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a big one here, which for those of you watching can see
Oh
is
my
my big
god,
tenor.
that looks at yeah, no, sorry, I was gonna say little one. Anyway, yeah.
My
Um,
smallest one is my Gark line, which
I
is
mean
there.
that looks
With
average
the
size to me, if you ask me.
tabs. This one's about 6 inches.
No, that's bigger than
There we
average. Joking. But anyways,
go.
um,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so Jamie, I'm gonna let you take this one because you're the in-house recorder player. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about contemporary recorder. What's different about it being contemporary?
So the recorder has a really rich history, which I love, because a lot of people, when they hear the recorder, they automatically think about primary school kids playing Three Blind Mice or Twinkle Little Star really badly. But the recorder is a really beautiful instrument. I love it. It's one of my favorite instruments. Hence why I decided to learn it. And if we go way back in the recorder's history, it was a virtuosic solo instrument. Vivaldi wrote amazing recorder concertos, which I highly recommend. And there was a lot of recorder repertoire in the sort of medieval and Baroque periods. But as music evolved throughout history, as we enter the classical era, and then the Romantic era, orchestras grew bigger. The flute, which was now made out of metal, was becoming more popular, and the recorder really didn't wasn't accepted as part of the orchestral development throughout the sort of 19th, 18th, 19th century, 20th century. It sort of came back. So when we get into the 20th century, the modern era, when music sort of steps away from that traditional the traditional Western classical harmony and all that sort of stuff. And we start
Yeah,
to see experimental music now coming in the 20th century, 20th and 21st century. We start to see a lot of experimentation and a lot of instruments which, haven't been used as solo instruments are now starting to resurface. And so the 20th and 21st century for the recorder is the sort of the resurrection, because it sort of died out in the classical and romantic era.
yeah. So there
And
was.
so
Is it only now that they started making recorder solo pieces, or has that always been a
Oh,
thing?
there's always been recorder solo pieces. Recorder always was a solo instrument. It was meant to be a virtuosic display of musical, um, virtuosity, and there is a place for it in ensemble music. You hear it in Baroque ensemble music and chamber music, and but yeah, it's always been a solo instrument. It's a really versatile instrument. Um, and yeah, in the modern era, we start to see um, that same idea of virtuosity, soloistic music, but with a modern twist on it. So you've got contemporary modern music for recorder, and the reason why the recorder is so good in a contemporary setting is because it's so versatile. There's such a huge range of techniques, extended techniques, that you can do with the recorder. I mean, the list is endless when you think about what you can do with what you can achieve with a recorder. Things like multiphonics,
Mm-hmm.
harmonics. You can sing and play at the same time. You can get some really interesting sounds. You can get a full portmanteau range, so you can slide between notes, glissando, and the list is endless of things you can do. And for a composer in the modern era, that's something quite attractive about the recorder, because you can unlock a whole new sound world that you can't with traditional instruments, or sort of instruments that survived the romantic era. Things like piano, flute. You can do a lot with them, but the recorder you can do so much with.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
That was something when exploring it, was the fact that these solo pieces had such a range of dynamic,
yeah,
you know, techniques. Um, yeah, I mean, would you say that the recorder is often? I mean, I'm sure you will, but it's very much an underrated.
it's massively underrated. I love the recorder. If you're listening to this now and you've never really listened to the record, never really given it the time of day, if you can take one thing away from this podcast, go and listen to some recorder music, solo recorder music. If I can recommend one piece of music, it's not a contemporary piece, but it's a contemporary interpretation of a traditional piece, and that is the Vivaldi Recorder Concerto. And go and type it in YouTube, Vivaldi Recorder Concerto, and the first one that comes up will be the Maurice Steger recording. He does a live recording of it, and it's a very modern interpretation of probably the recorder's most important piece of repertoire, and it is incredible. Vivaldi Recorder Concerto by Maurice Steger.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to that, and it's just bloody beautiful. But yeah, the recorder, I mean, it is a really diverse, broad range, because you can do so much with it. I mean, you can you can put it in a jazz setting, which you'll hear a lot of, and that's quite pleasant to listen to and quite fun. But then, because of all the range of extended techniques that it's got, you start to hear really experimental stuff with it as well. So there's a piece called Austro, and that is again quite at the forefront of contemporary recorder repertoire, and it's 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 difficult if you're not really into experimental music. It can be a difficult listen, but it's all about under you know unlocking a new sound world, a new new capabilities. It's about challenging the norms of music, modern music.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you get to you hear all sorts of harmonics and techniques which it questions reality, and you listen to it and you think, is that a recorder? Is it? But it's all recorder. It's incredible.
Yeah.
um
Well, the stuff that I found from it, I mean, talking about the contemporary, why am I saying it like that? It's because we're recording. I can't say stuff properly. Um,
yeah,
Within the contemporary classical range of recorder, I found a lot of it to be from Asian countries.
yeah, there's a big Chinese set of composers that compose a lot for this sort of music. You'll find a lot of Chinese. You'll find a lot of Dutch as well.
Mm. Yeah, I saw
It's
that as well. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. The Netherlands is one of the sort of the mecca of contemporary recorder. It's everyone goes there to study contemporary recorder. It's there's a lot going on there in China as well. Chinese Pictures by Isang Yung,
Mm.
Isang Yun. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Isang Yun, Chinese Pictures, it's called. And that's another piece of contemporary music coming out from the eastern part of the world. And yeah, it's that's really really quite cool. It's about painting a picture using just a solo recorder, and it
Yeah.
and it does a really amazing job. You might think, how can a solo recorder paint this a whole sound world, a whole picture? Like an orchestra could do that easily, but a solo recorder. but it does. It's incredible how much you can get out of this humble instrument.
Yeah, well, I mean, from my what I found from the Asian side of society of recording of recorder, sorry. Koji Izaki, he had some really good tunes. None of them I could pronounce because they are in a foreign language which I can't read. So
This is our specialty on this podcast.
I know.
Mispronouncing words, but I feel like when it's written in Chinese script, I think that's where we draw the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
they draw lots of lines.
Sarah Jeffrey as well. I mean, that was one of the big ones.
Sarah Jeffries is a big name in recorder. I mean, she got me into recorder like when I first started out. She's got a fantastic YouTube channel, and again, she's studied in the Netherlands, where under the best. And yeah, she's very big in the recorder community.
Yeah, and the one that you sent me, a jazz piece, which I thought was particularly interesting because it's like recorder and jazz is really not what you expect, but I think it works really well. Was Burton Place by Warren Kime.
Yeah, Burton Place. I love that piece. It's very fun and funky to listen to. It's not like some contemporary recorder pieces, which can be a bit of a challenging listen. It can be quite harsh on the ears if you're not used to that sort of music.
Mm-hmm.
But Burton Place is really just a fun way of hearing the recorder in a modern setting. Jazz recorder is actually a lot bigger than you might think. There's a player called Tali Rubenstein. And she does a lot of jazz recorder, and go and listen to her. She's amazing. She does a lot of really cool jazz recorder. You wouldn't think recorder and jazz really go together, but it does, and she does a great job of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, what I found was actually it just for the terms of contemporary recorder, I found it difficult to actually find the pieces because a lot of them obviously were from classical music, and written hundreds of years ago. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and give it some more listening. You've put some tunes on the playlist.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on that playlist. A lot of the stuff you can't. A lot of contemporary music is like difficult. You can't find it on Spotify because it's it's written for certain performances and things like that. So YouTube's got some good stuff on it, but the stuff on the Spotify playlist is some stuff that I really like. There's a piece called Brat by Susanna Borsch, which is for recorder and electronics, and I love that piece. Listen to Burton Place again by Warren Kine, and yeah, I think there's a few other. I think there's some stuff by the Nordic Recorder Duo on there as well that do some really cool. That's sort of taking the classical influences and the Baroque influences, but giving it a massively modern spin, almost like you'd find with neoclassicism and things like that, neo-romanticism. But with the recorder, it's almost not quite Schoenberg, but like maybe somewhere just before then. It's like sort of really exciting 20th century. Recorder music, which is one of my favorite eras for music. That sort of that period in the 20th century where they were taking the old and the new and really sort
trying
of
to find a new sound,
a completely new sound. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice. Well, I mean, you've opened up a whole new world for me because I think it's one that unless I have someone like you to show me the way, it's sort of a bit difficult to find, but. Yeah, I mean, guys, go and have a listen to the playlist once you listen to all the episodes of Back on Track, of course. But yeah, thank you, Jamie. I mean, that was it's really been eye opening to listen to this new genre. And guys, next week we're actually going to have our first ever guest on the podcast. The wonderful Keith Ayling, who's going to talk to us all about sea shanties. So look out for that.
Exciting.
Yeah, and Jamie, we've got a few more segments today. I don't know what's going on in my head today. I think I'm just knackered. Jamie, do you have a train fact for us?
I do, and I'm going to ask you in the form of a question.
Okay.
The longest ever train in the world, how long do you think it was?
Oh, God.
Take a guess.
I know some freight trains go on for ages. I remember,
It is a freight train,
yeah.
so you know.
I mean, just side note, in Tennessee where my mum lives, the freight trains that come past will legit be going past for about 7 minutes. You know,
They are quite cool. The ones you get, yeah, the big freight trains in America
they
and
are
things like that.
massive.
They are
Yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna say. I think I'm gonna go bold and say a mile.
A mile, and that's you being bold, mate.
Oh
A
my
mile
god.
is minuscule compared to this. Okay, it's not that minuscule. You weren't far off. The longest train ever was 4.57 miles.
Jesus.
4.7.
4.7 miles. When was
Imagine
this?
this. It was in June 2001, and it was in Australia. A train carrying iron ore from from the east to the west coast. They've got, you know, vast amounts of just empty land, so they just transport, you know, these iron ore and coal and things like that on just these massive, massive long trains over in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool. But imagine driving it,
I know that's
and you know the brake pipe comes loose on the rear carriage, and you've got to get out and walk all the way to
you
4
gotta
miles to
walk
get.
4 miles.
Yeah,
I think at that
yeah.
point, where they probably just have to. Oh no, we can't stop, can you?
Well, it would take a long time to. I mean, I'm assuming it probably didn't go above 30 or 35, 40 miles an hour,
Yeah. Well, they
if
must have
that.
had somebody at the back of it in case something like that did
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, they usually have like. I mean, I watched a series called Railroad Australia, and it's really good actually. And they have like a little. One of the carriages is like a little house, like a little lodging for them, and they drag it along with them. And they've got like a kitchen area and a little bed and things like that where they can because there'll be a team of them. There'll be one, you know, one of them driving, one of them resting, and then they'll take it in turns. So they've got like a little mobile sort of home that they drag with them. I don't know if it's at the back though. They might not. I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Nice. Well, I mean, wait. So is this train still in action? Are they still going trains this long, or is it too dangerous?
No, they still do iron ore trains. They are long, but I think this was the longest it ever got because, you know, depending on the demand and things like that and the supply, they'll add more or less carriages of ore depending on those. But I think it probably averages like maybe a mile,
Yeah.
maybe around about that, maybe less. I don't know. But it's
Uh-huh.
still, yeah. There's a big mining industry in Australia, so of course they rely on the railroads for that.
Brilliant. Well, um, Jamie. On
Oh,
that
and
note,
by the
oh
way, it was
yes.
sorry, just
No, no, no,
it
no.
was
Go for it.
it was powered by 8 diesel electric locomotives
Wow.
and consisted of 682 wagons.
That's mad. Well, Jamie, on that note, can you tell me what's been grinding your gears this week?
Don't get me started. I think I say that every week.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, it's just this is like such a peeve of mine,
Mm.
and it's not even that bad, but it just sort of annoys me, and I just don't like it. But it's when people use incorrect grammar, but specifically when people say should of, or would of, or could of instead of should have or should have with an apostrophe, because
Mm.
the correct way of saying it is should have or would have, could have,
Yeah.
or could have with an apostrophe. But you see, and especially you know, on social media, people writing it down, text and things like that. They write should of, and that I don't know. I hate it. Grinds my gears,
Yeah.
Hamish.
I mean,
Grinds my gears. I
that's
hate
one of
it.
the things for me. I think, I'm not someone who has icks per se, but I'd say the one ick that I do have is grammar, because in this digital world that we live in, my spelling isn't perfect, but we're in a digital world where you have autocorrect right there next to you,
I know.
and the
Yeah.
fact you've sent me a text with the wrong grammar,
And
um,
also, I've noticed like posts on Instagram will purposely do the wrong grammar
Yeah,
to like
for
get people.
engagement. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. And that I hate that so much.
The,
Like you purposely writing. Oh yeah, I
well,
hate
the
it.
one that always gets me is a lot. People just don't put a space.
Putting it as one word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another side note of something, and this has been an ongoing thing for years. How do you say the letter H?
Oh god, I've had this conversation with you. I would say H,
And that is
like the rapper.
Yeah, and that is the correct way to say it. And
Not H
no.
with a sound.
Yeah, well,
H.
I remember for years, my mum, overreact. I thought what I thought was overreacting to people saying the word H, and I used to think that was funny. And then you grow
What
up.
did she
and
do? Flip the table or something?
She
when
would
somebody
she
said
would
H?
she would shiver.
Shudder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I, after a certain point in life, I went, do you know what? People will want to say it wrong. I can't be asked to fight it. But I was in
It's
math.
harmless,
No,
but it's annoying.
But I was in maths once, Jamie,
Yeah.
and the kid next to me goes, "You're saying H wrong," and I just went, "Don't you dare tell me this." I have held my tongue for years now,
Exactly.
and now you're coming to tell me I'm saying it wrong. And then, yeah,
You
so
threw the Bunsen burner. Oh no, it was maths. You
It
threw
was-
the protract, stabbed him with a compass.
yeah, I was,
Yeah.
I was. It was more just the cheek to say that I'm saying it wrong,
Yeah.
and I've been holding away from
You've been letting
correcting.
it build up inside you, all of this
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
like,
Well,
anger.
so anyways, guys, if you say H, please have a hard look in the mirror and see what's going wrong in life. But anyways, yeah, as for me, do you know what I do? I've been having a lot of stuff grind my gears, and now it's all fading away from my head. So they clearly haven't annoyed me quite as much as I thought they did. But one thing that always grinds my gears, and this is something that well, yeah, for years has annoyed me, is people not bunching up when they're walking down a pavement. And if if it's a small pavement, they don't, as a group, bunch up and go into a single file to make way for myself or any other people. Always annoys me because I end up having to go onto the bloody road.
And then you're putting yourself at risk. You could get hit by
Yeah.
a car.
But it's also the fact that some people are just so oblivious to the fact I'm walking.
Yeah.
So that's something that always grinds my gears. And every time I just, I say a little insult in my head to them. I'm a bit like the guy from Peep Show. What's his name? I don't remember right now. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The one that's not David Mitchell.
No, it is David Mitchell. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the other guy.
Yeah,
the
but
one
in my
that-
head, I just have his voice in my head going,
Oh,
"Fuck
right.
you."
Oh, yeah. They do that in Peep Show, man. That's
It's a brilliant show. Have you watched
it's
it?
funny. I've seen most of it. I've never actually finished it.
You gotta
because-
finish it. It's brilliant show.
Um,
The guy who
but
wrote
yeah.
that ended up going on to write The Thick of It and Succession.
What's his name? The other guy.
I can't remember. We don't have our producer with us today, guys, so that's why
No,
we're going
so-
on long tangents and
Yeah.
and waffling on and not knowing
Yeah.
what it is exactly we're talking about. But anyways, I think Jamie's looking it up now.
Yeah. Robert Webb.
Oh, Rob
think-
Webb. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, but
yes.
yeah, I know what you mean with David Mitchell's inner monologue going.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
It's so funny.
But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in again. It's a bit of a longer one today, but I thought I enjoyed this episode. Apologies for my energy and my not being able to speak properly. I've had a very long week, so I'm very tired.
It's
But
been one of those days. But do you know what? I've had a bad week as well, Hamish.
why is that?
I got fired from my job as a set designer.
Oh no.
It's okay though. I left without making a scene.
I loved how you fit that in, the little dad joke right at the end to finish it off.
You can't have a podcast without my dad joke. You have to squeeze that one in.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks for tuning in. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Leave a comment down. And if you're on Spotify, if you could rate us, that really helps a lot for the show. So yeah, thanks very much, guys. I look forward to talking to you all next week when we will have our guest Keith Ayling coming to talk to us all about sea shanties. Anything else you want to say to the people, Jamie?
Yes, go and listen to Vivaldi Recorder Concerto by the recording by Maurice Steger, and you will love it. Listen to it,
guys. Go and do that when you have the chance. All right, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Goodbye.